Oh, creeping up. Good evening, everyone. We'll start in a couple of minutes. Just going to message somebody, see how my audio is. Yay, my audio is audible. Pun intended. So now's a good time to gather any props you might need. Block, bolster, strap, substitutes, towel, cushion, pillow. Okay, more people have joined. Awesome. Let's find our way onto our backs. So good evening, my name is Satyam. I'll be leading your practice. As always, consult with a medical professional before you begin any exercise program. So you're on your back, heels are nice and wide, toes fall out. Bring the shoulder blades together on the back, arms slightly away from your sides, palms are facing up. Softly close the eyes. So I'll take a nice deep breath in, letting go a sigh. And before we get into the practice proper, let's do a little mind-body connection exercise to help us relax a little bit. So eyes stay closed, breathing in through the nose, breathing from the belly. But I want you to squeeze your toes. You're making little fists with your toes. Squeeze hard and release. Only one body part at a time or one area at a time. Squeeze the calves, squeeze the shins, nice and tight, and release. Squeeze the thighs, back of the legs, hamstrings, and release. Squeeze the glutes, the butt, and release. Squeezing the core, starting lower towards the pelvis, coming all the way up to the bottom of the rib cage, and release. Squeeze the low back, mid back, upper back, in between the shoulder blades, back of the neck, and release. Squeeze your chest, and release. Squeeze the shoulders, upper arms, forearms, hands make fists, squeeze the fingers in, and release. And contract the face, do something scary, no one can see you. And release. Deep breath in, letting go sigh. Feeling completely relaxed now, melting to the mat, to the earth. Hopefully a little more in touch, in tune with the body, how it's feeling. Maybe you found something along the way that was not happy tonight. So you go through your shavasana, beginning and ending. Send some extra breath, some energy, some love to any areas that need it. With the inhales and exhales, lengthen. Soften. Face is totally relaxed. Letting go of the outside world. Connecting to your inside world, inside your body. Letting go of the day past. Letting go of the evening to come. Just being here, present. Setting a sankalpa, an intention for your practice. Something positive. Something that you feel a connection with. And if you don't have an intention this evening's practice, perhaps thinking about what you can do rather than what you can't. We're faced with a lot of additional challenge these days, and often we focus on the negative, things we can't do, the places we can't go. And while this is, of course, true, you'll find you feel much better if you focus on the positive. That project that you wanted to start so long ago that you never did. Maybe now you have the time. I was talking to one of my students this morning. She's taken up a musical instrument. She always wanted to learn how to play, and she's doing online classes. So you may have to dig a little deeper, but there are opportunities here. Opportunities to grow, opportunity to challenge yourself. Many of us have the luxury of more time. And hopefully, of course, family, friends, everyone is well, everyone is safe. With that looked after, basic needs, focusing on what you can do, not what you can't. Deepening the breath. Eyes still closed, slowly turn the head side to side. Coming back to center, bring some movement to the hands, gently curling and uncurling fingers, and rotating the wrists, going both ways. And curling the toes, open, close, open, rotate ankles, both directions. Ankles together, toes away from the shins, arms by your sides, palms down. Inhale the arms overhead, fingers to whatever's behind you, palms facing up. Exhale, arms come forward, palms touch down alongside the hips. Move with your breath. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, forward. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, forward. Inhale, up and back. And this time, as we exhale, bring the right knee only into the chest, Apanasana. Both feet are flexed, toes to the shin, toes are to the sky, hips are level. And we're hugging the right knee into the chest. Maybe going deeper on an exhale. We'll keep the right knee deeply bent, release the shin, and just tip the thigh so it's straight up and down. The right heel is just hovering barely off the mat. And let's draw some big circles in the sky with the right knee. And reversing direction. Back to center, straighten the leg out. Breath in, exhale, left knee to the chest, Uttanasana. All the toes are to the sky. Level hips. Left knee moves towards left shoulder. Maybe deeper on an exhale. And we'll do the same movement. Release the shin. Tip the left thigh so it's straight up and down. Left heel hovers off the mat. Big circles. Left knee. Reversing direction. We're always doing left and right. Front and back. Side to side. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Doesn't matter which side you do first. Keep the left knee bent. Left foot to the mat. Right knee bent. Right foot to the mat. Soles of feet together. Knees out left and right. Butterfly. Mountain angle. If this is too intense, you can always have something supporting underneath the knees. Blocks, bolsters, cushions, rolled up towels, whatever you have available. So as we begin our first true yin pose of the practice, keep in mind that you don't want to come into the pose deeply right away. Give the body some time to let go. It takes the body minimum 2 minutes to get to its deepest stretch, any pose. And sometimes we stretch the tissues relatively far. So you always make sure you come out of the pose slowly. You don't want things to snap back. So always take your time coming in, deepening with the breath. Take your time coming out. It's a very slow, internal, meditative practice. We have the luxury of time for our poses. Typical hold is 3 minutes. Some poses a little more challenging, a little shorter. Some poses maybe not as challenging, a little longer, depending on the pose. Remember, whenever we switch poses or we switch sides of poses, you should take any movements you need to loosen the body up before we move on. If a pose becomes uncomfortable, or even more so than that, even painful, you want to come out of the pose, come back to something neutral, and rejoin us when we move on to the next pose. You also find that as you hold the pose longer, you're feeling a stretch, a pulling. We call that coming to your edge. And you'll find after a minute or two that your edge will move, the tissues will lengthen. So at that point, you should try to deepen the pose. You can do this 2 or 3 times in a pose or even more. We call this riding the edge. Throughout the whole practice, you should be breathing in and out through the nose, breathing from the belly, just as a neutral. Often in a faster practice, we worried about the pose, what's next, keeping up with the class. We lose that mind-body connection. This practice deepens, reinforces our mind-body connection. And hands can assist if you wish. Slowly bring the knees back up to center. I think we're going to do a supported bridge today, not right this second, but shortly. So if you don't have something to support your hips up in the air, maybe now's a good time to find something. Otherwise, just loosen things up a little bit. We're going to windshield wipe the knees side to side. We'll come back to center. We'll hug the knees back into the chest. Take a deep breath in and out. If Happy Baby is way too much for you, you can stay here in our double Apanasana. Otherwise, we're going to send the feet up to the sky. Elbows come inside the knees, holding outside edges of the feet. Some alternates, you can hold heels. You can hold big toes. Use a strap over the feet. And if this is too much, but you don't want to do the double Apanasana, you can have soles of feet together, toes to the sky, heels over the pelvis, hold the ankles, keeping the toes to the sky, pull the feet towards you as you push the knees away. So you have a few different options to hang out here. Oops. Hopefully everyone knows where I was looking. In case anyone's curious, I dropped my phone. I use this stopwatch to time the poses. Tailbone stays on the mat. Trying to bring tops of the thighs towards the mat without curling tailbone. And just before we come completely out of the pose, holding Happy Baby, tip to your right, let the right knee touch down, and then push out to the left heel. So you're sending the left heel to the sky, just doing a little stretch for the hamstring while we're here. And bend the knee, rock it back to center. Left knee touches down, right heel to the sky. And bend the knee, bring it back to center. Both feet come to the mat. Little windshield wipe, knees side to side. So So whatever you're going to put under your low back for supported bridge, you want to make sure you can reach it. Come back to center. Knees are still bent. Feet are on the mat. Feet are distance apart, 2 fist widths. Arms alongside the body, middle fingertips just barely brushing back of heels. We'll do a couple moving bridge to warm up, and then we'll come to supported bridge. Inhale, hips up to the sky. Exhale, slowly release, hips come back down to the mat. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Okay, find your low back support, let's call it. Inhale, hips come up, and you want to place it underneath the low back, someplace that's comfortable for you. You want to be on the sacrum, so you want to be just above the cleft of the glutes. You don't want it up too high. You don't want your back bend to be too extreme, someplace that's comfortable. And depending what you're using to support yourself, you can go higher or lower for comfort. Option 1, staying here with knees stacked over heels. Option 2, a little different. For some people, a little more intense. Straighten the legs out. Come onto the heels with the toes to the sky. If that does not feel good, come back to knees stacked over ankles. Should feel an opening through the low back, the hips, the pelvis. Remember to keep breathing in and out through the nose. Keep breathing from the belly. And if you do have straight legs, slowly walk the heels back on the knees. Gently lift. Slide out your support. Slowly hips come back down. We'll hug the knees up into the chest. And you can gently rock side to side, back and forth, but it feels good, giving the back a little massage. And then rolling to either side, bottom arms at pillow, top arms in front of the heart. And push into the hand in front of you, straighten the top leg, coming up to seated. Let's come up to Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Ankles in line, cross-legged if that's too much for you. From here, let's inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms. Begin with a little more length, walking the hands forward. And then beginning to round, elbows come towards the mat. You go deeper, stacked hands. Remember, you can always rest the forehead on a block in any forward fold. Or you can bring the forehead all the way down to the mat or wherever you're at. And we will hang out here. In our yang, more energetic poses or types of practice, we always talk about long spine and keeping the chin up. And this is the opposite. We round the spine, we let the forehead roll towards the mat to the earth. If you don't have a block to support your head, use anything else you have. Sit bones are still on the mat, so they're not lifting up. Slowly roll up tall. Look down at your feet, your shins. Figure out which one's in front. Straighten the legs out. Shake them out. Roll the ankles. And coming back, opposite leg in front. Almost forgot myself. Sitting up tall, same asana. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. And again, walk the palms forward, lengthen a little bit, and then round. Elbows, stacked hands, support for the forehead maybe. This is always about your body. This is your practice. Your body should be guiding you rather than me. Slowly walking the hands back underneath the shoulders. We'll do the same thing to loosen the legs up. Straighten them out. Shake them out if you need to. Roll the ankles. Whatever you want to do to loosen things up. Okay, I haven't done this sequence on camera yet, so let's see how it's going to work out. So we're going to do stuff for a sequence for the shoulders. So you're going to come to flat on your belly. You're going to send your right arm out to T position, palm down. Left hand's alongside the ribs, like you're about to do a push-up with your left hand. And mindfully, you're not going too far. Push into your left hand, and you're trying to come onto your side. And it's as if you're trying to roll your upper back onto your right arm. Sometimes, I didn't bring a block with me. Sometimes people like to put a block underneath the head, so it works a little bit like a pillow. If you want to go a little deeper, you can bend the left knee, place the sole of the left foot on the mat behind the right leg. If you want to go a lot deeper, bend the right knee, both feet on the mat, both knees to the sky. And if you want to go deeper, sweep the left arm up and over and find your right wrist. So just find a comfortable place for you. Should be feeling a deep, relatively intense stretch in the right shoulder. So when we have our little devices in front of us, our phones, our tablets, we're working at a screen, a computer, desktop, laptop, we're always rounding the shoulders forward, we're closing the chest, we're compressing our diaphragm. We don't breathe properly, our internal organs don't work properly. It's a nice one to counteract that. People ask me sometimes, and usually in a twist, but sometimes in this pose, what happens if the fingers are tingling or going numb? It means you're putting too much pressure on the nerves, not getting enough oxygen, enough blood supply. So you want to back out of the pose a little bit until the numbness or tingling goes away. Usually over time it gets better. The body adapts. Nice and slow. Roll it back to center. And the opposite arm, probably left, comes out to T position. Right hand's alongside the body. Breath in. Exhale. Pushing, coming onto the hip. If you want to deepen, right foot on the mat. Right foot plants behind left. Or you can do both. Or you can sweep the arm up and over. Find a place where you feel a nice deep stretch and hold. Don't forget to deepen if it becomes available to you. Remember, if the head's uncomfortable, if it's too far off the floor, put something under the head. Even in a pose that you find challenging, the more relaxed you breathe, the more the body will let go and let you get deeper into the pose. Long, slow, relaxed breaths, breathing from the belly. Breathe from the ribs, the chest, we shorten our breath, shallow. Body starts to tighten up. Slowly rock it back to center. And the counter pose, we'll do both sides together. So sitting up, bring the elbows together underneath the chin, and then walk the hands in opposite direction. Push the chin into the arms, the elbows, and then you deepen by, my fingers are going to frame it, but I think walking the fingers out in opposite directions. I usually don't switch which elbows in front in this pose. It doesn't make a huge difference, but if you want to switch halfway, you're welcome to do so. I'll tell you when we're halfway. And we're roughly at the halfway mark, so if you want to switch, try not to come completely out of the pose, but then switch so the opposite elbow's in front. What's worse for me? Whatever works for you. Maybe you can still deepen, put a little more weight into the elbows, or walk the fingertips away in opposite directions so you're getting wider. And slowly working my way out of the pose. And let's stay low here. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing better. Since we're 3/4 of the way there, let's come to Sphinx. Elbows stacked directly into the shoulders. So the upper arm, the humerus, is vertical. Arm straight in front of you. From here, lift the chin, chest, heart up. Make the collarbones nice and wide. And deepening, pushing pelvis to the mat. Belly to the mat. Maybe sending low ribs to the mat without dropping the chest. This is enough of a back bend for you staying here. If you want to go deeper, you can come to any variation of seal, lifting the elbows, or you can walk the hands in. Deepest version, heels of the hands are stacked under the shoulders, fingers are pointing out, chin says heart up, nice and high, nice and wide. And even deeper, you can bend the knees and send the feet towards the head. And clearly for me, they don't go very close, but for some people, they can even touch. Listening to your body. If you come up to seal and that's too intense, come down to a lower version, or you can come back down to Sphinx pose. Try to keep the heart open, pushing the pelvis down and forward, whichever version you're doing. Next should be just neutral, comfortable, whatever works for you. Well, we're hanging out for any of you who were in my core flow class a couple of days ago. Sorry, we had some technical issues and kind of lost the feed there, so apologies for that. I know my mic was having problems, but I didn't realize it. And nice and slow, finding your way down. And then we just did a little bit of back bending and some more back bending with the Sphinx. So we kind of did 2 in a row. So you want to go very slowly up to table. Let's just do a quick cat-cow, loosening up the spine before we come to our child's pose. Inhale, push the belly down, lift the chin, lift the tailbone. Slowly, exhale, round the back to the sky. Might feel some snap, crackle, pop. That's okay. Move with your breath. Inhale down, exhale up. And we're slowly going to make our way back to child's pose, Balasana. If you want the maximum counter stretch from what we just did, you're going to do the knees together version. Arms forward or back. Gets into the low back a little more. But if you're more comfortable, you'd rather do knees wide, gets a little more to the hips, you can do that. Forehead comes to the mat. Arms forward, arms back, arms down the middle. Whatever feels good. Maybe the eyes are closed. Breathing still through the nose. Breathing still from the belly. Soften the glutes to the heels. Soften the belly onto the thighs or in between the thighs, depending which version you're doing. Relax the back of the neck. Feel your body melt to the mat. Slowly walk the hands back towards the body. Sit up on the heels. So we're going to do one for the thighs, quadriceps. So in a perfect world, the glutes come down in between the ankles. Sometimes it helps to take a thumb, put it between the back of the thigh and the calf, and roll the calf out. It gives your flesh out of the way, and you can sit all the way down. If you can't reach the mat, you want to take a block or something you're supporting yourself with and sit on that. Knees should be comfortable. Tops of the feet hopefully on something soft. And from here, you're slowly going to walk the hands back. Come down any amount. So you can just walk the hands back until you find yourself maybe close to a 45-degree angle. Deeper version, you're going to be on your elbows. If you're going to go lower than your elbows, then probably the block is hindering your progress. You need to release the block. You can find yourself elbows or all the way down to the mat, depending on how you feel. You can support your back with something if that's available to you. And we'll hang out. Should be feeling a nice stretch in the thighs, the quadriceps. Try not to let the knees splay out too much. Or you can always adjust the body higher or lower depending on how you feel. This is a big muscle group. Often the first minute or two of the pose can be pretty intense. About another 30 seconds. Hopefully, if you're all the way down or pretty low and you get stuck, you have a family member nearby to help you out. This is a not so hard pose to get stuck in. And slowly finding your way back up. And coming over to table. Stretching at the legs. Send the leg back. Tuck the toes under. Push the heel away. It doesn't matter which side. Switching legs. And we'll find a way back onto our backs. So we're going to do a relatively short twist. So feet are on the mat, knees are still bent, ankles together, knees together, arms at the T position, 9 degrees for the body. Breath in. Exhale softly, knees will go to the right and looking to your left. Feel some length come to the spine. Try to keep your left shoulder on the mat. All day, the earth pulls us down, gravity makes us shorter. This is an opportunity to get a little longer, a little taller. It also has a calming effect on the central nervous system. So twists are a good thing to do before you go to sleep. I'm sure everyone's going to go to bed at 9 or 10, so you can be up at 5 or 6 to meditate. Feet stay on the mat. Slowly inhale, knees to center at the center. Exhale, knees will go left, maybe looking to your right. Slowly inhale, knees back to center. Head back to center. And finding your way to Shavasana, final posture. Heels nice and wide, edges of the mat. Toes fall out. Shoulder blades together on the back. Arms slightly away from your sides, palms facing up. Breathing in and out through the nose. Breathing from the belly. Tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. Eyes fall back in their sockets. Inhaling courage, exhaling doubt. Perhaps coming back to your intention, perhaps thinking about focusing on what you can do, on what you have, not the physical things, but emotional, spiritual, instead of focusing on what you don't have. Breath is soft, relaxed. Face is relaxed. Feel your whole body soften, melt towards the earth. Slowly deepen the breath. Gentle movements come back. Fingers, toes. Taking a last full body stretch if you wish. And then making way onto your right hand side. Right arm's a pillow, left hand's in front of the heart, knees are bent. Keeping the eyes softly closed, gently pushing into left hand, extend top leg, come to a comfortable seat. Sit up nice and tall. Hands are at center, thumbs to sternum and Jali Mudra. Thank yourself for taking this practice. Thank you for sharing your energy with everyone who took this practice together. From my light to yours. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining me. Questions, comments. This video will be uploaded tomorrow. You can post there. Our Healthletica on Instagram, Facebook, info@healthletica.ca, all the usual channels. Thank you very much. Have a great night.